Hello there, guys. Welcome back. It's another day with me on the Oreke Level podcast. And today we have another guest. Whoop, whoop.
Hey,
Ah.
hi.
welcome. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. So,
Well,
guys, today, the topic is going to be centered around fitness, but we're looking at it from the perspective of fitness while you have a family. So you have a husband and kids and a job at the same time, and then keeping all those things in line while still being able to be like looking yummy and stuff like that. So, yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So,
yeah.
for starters, the first question that I have for you is okay, yeah. So, first of all, we have to give a name. Now, this friend of mine, like, literally is the guru. She has the answer for anything and everything you want to know.
Oh
Like, you
my
can
God.
call her, yeah, you can call her any question about anything, and she will just come up with a solution. But just imagine today we're trying to like figure out what name she should use for the podcast, and she's like, I can't think of anything. Just call me a friend. I was like, wait, what?
I have a friend.
Jesus. Oh my God. So today our guest is called a friend. Right? So a friend, what does a typical day in the position of a working mom slash wife look like?
Okay, so I always say like being a mom and working, even if you're not working, being a mom and you want to have a life outside being a mom, the number one key is planning and organizing yourself ahead of time, not just going with the flow, right?
Mm,
So we always have a routine. So the routine could change depending on the time or season or like like now they're out of school, so our routine is changed compared to when they're in school, whereas we wake up, everyone goes to get ready, and your routine can start at night. Like my routine for the next day starts at night, whereas I bring out all what they're going to wear, including what I'm going to wear, like things like that, because you
mm,
want to save time. You want to be able to do everything you plan to do, right? So you have to plan ahead. Like even some days whereas I know, okay, I can't make it to the gym. And my friends were like, oh, we're going to go eat in this restaurant. And okay, this restaurant, you're going to be eating like steak or something. You have to put in your routine, like, okay, I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier to work out to earn that.
mm.
So, so, so so it's really hard to answer that question, but my routine
Yeah.
changes. It changes with you know, the typical situations. But what I would say is like when it comes to routine, always plan it. Like don't go with the flow. Like go
Mm,
with like always plan ahead of time, like what you want to do for the day, or if you want
mm,
to even plan like weekly, like it's always good to just plan it and set like okay goals you want to accomplish each day. Or,
yeah.
that rather than go with the flow because you can't really do that when you get nothing done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, I do try. So I currently don't yet have a nuclear family of my own that I've started. However, in my own personal life, I do try to keep to a routine. Um, However, that really, as I said in the first podcast, that really crumbled for me at the beginning of this COVID-19. And then I suddenly like picked up and I had like a super, super, super good routine. And then I think I may have overwhelmed myself because like I just like registered for so many courses. I was like cooking this, cooking that, and I just suddenly like hit like a ceiling. I was like, boom, everything just crumbled. My routine just went bad. And I was like, ugh. But I mean, in the coming days, I'm looking to like fix that as well. But it's really going to be interesting for me today to actually learn from someone that's actually doing that beyond themselves, actually having to manage an entire family as well as themselves. Because yeah, that's actually super interesting to
If
hear.
I can even if I can even say something according to what you just said, the
Yeah,
mistake that we all make, including me, is
yeah,
when you decide, like whatever day you decide, okay, my life or whatever is disorganized or whatever, I need
yeah,
to put a routine down. The big mistake we make is like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. You think like, okay,
yeah,
in one routine, you always like overstretch yourself. So it's like learning to get your balance and know, okay, I cannot
mm,
Like there's some days that okay, I know I'm gonna do so many. Maybe if I'm going to go to my kids' school and they have like a field day, I can take out my workouts because to me I'm like okay, that equals to workout. Like
Yeah.
your limits is always good when you're setting a routine.
Yeah, I think yeah, right. That's probably where I got it wrong with this corona lockdown things. Like I was trying to like do everything. I was like, yes, man. And in the beginning it was working. In the beginning, it was good. Like I was like, yes, man, I'm on this thing. And then poof. Yeah, so I think going forward, what I should do is actually I should do what you just said. I'm gonna have to create a balance and realize my limits and stuff like that. Yeah. But it just gets so difficult because I'm always like, oh my god, but I really want to do this one. Oh, but I really want to do that one. But I really want to do this one. So I'm struggling to like prioritize and choose which of these new skills I should learn and stuff like that, or which new meal I should cook and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to like my next question for you. So please define motherhood and being a wife in your own words.
Well, that's a difficult one to answer because motherhood and being a wife is different for everyone, right?
Mm.
Um, I think being a mom is like I would say is just imagine uh, until I don't know, till I think forever because my mom still looks at me that way. It's like you have
Oh,
somebody that you're responsible for their life, like
yeah.
so that never ends. So once it doesn't, that never ends. Like I know my mom sometimes like I'll call her and she's like uh, I'm like, okay, mommy, I'm I'm grown. Like sometimes they still you still look at I see the same thing with my kids. I don't know if that will ever change. It's like being a mom, I would
Yeah.
say is that, like, and then being a wife is I guess someone you have like you share everything with, even equally being a parent, if you're currently
Yeah.
you share everything, good, bad,
Yeah.
all every situation, good downs, I guess that's also like being a wife, like having the partner to share everything
Yeah.
with everything. So, but I guess it depends on for different people, right? It
Yeah.
depends on the person. But that's my own, will I say, intake on what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So guys, may I just add that a friend is actually my first close friend to actually get married. Like that was like I don't know how many years ago that was now, but I just remember then it was like around about time for me anyway of like rounding up with uni, and I was like, okay, kind of in. I guess some people just like I don't know, maybe they were already mentally at a certain level, but for me, I was just like leaving being a child, and I was like still trying to like discover things about who I was and blah blah blah, entering into adulthood, and then boom, and I was like, wait, we're adults now? Because like like for me in my
Well,
head I'm like, okay, marriage, then kids come after, then you're actually responsible for other lives, and I was like, oh my god, we're getting old. So yeah, that was just to put that out there. This was like my introduction to like, girl, life is happening. And then she had kids and started calling me auntie, and I was like, oh god,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
god, I think I'm old. Anyway, yeah,
But
that's that.
I'm gonna say put something with that as well. Like I wasn't mentally like oh yeah, I'm gonna get married when I got married
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Like
okay.
it just happens. I guess marriage just happens whenever it happens, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's true.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so exactly. So the next point goes on to the question is, please tell us which you think is more manageable with being a mother slash wife, self-employment, or having a career. So a friend has had the privilege in life of having a taste of being self-employed. She's also had the privilege of actually having a career, like as in working in an organization. So tell us, based on your own experience over the years, which do you think is more manageable? Is it easier to be your own boss, doing your own thing, and then managing a family, or managing a family and then being answerable to an organization that you work for? In your experience, which one would you say is better or easier
Okay.
or more
Like
manageable?
I would say, it also comes down to having that balance. Like
Mm,
I'm still growing and I'm still learning things and I'm still like, so I would say like when, running your business, I was at a point where I would come back, make sure the kids have done their homework, and I was like on my computer continue working because when you run your business, what people don't understand is no matter how structured it is, especially like in the early stages, you are responsible for every single thing. So it's not like
mm,
working for someone where you, okay, if you're like in the marketing part or the procurement part, you do your job and that's it. But you're
Yeah.
running you're head of the procurement team, you're head of the marketing team,
Oh my God.
you're
Tell me
head of
about it.
you're
Oh,
head of legal, you're head of like, research, you're head of you're still
yeah.
people doing all that, but you're still like managing it, especially in the early stages, like I said. So like to
Yeah.
be actually depends. What I would say is that there's no right or wrong, or there's no better one I would pick, because it depends on your learning to get that balance, because
Yeah.
whatever you start working, you have to it took me a while to like, okay, do you know what, I told my team lead, okay, look, I rather not take my 2 hour break sometimes, so I can go home earlier, so I have extra time to spend with my kids, right? So
Yeah.
it takes a while for you to the point of it is like finding your balance. It takes a while for you to find,
Mm.
sometimes stretched out. I remember sometimes I'm so stretched out, you're so tired, like you'll be so stretched out. The point is just finding your balance. And when you find your balance, it's awesome, because you're able to have that life of your own outside. Like
Mm.
you're able to do, even provide, even not working. You'll be surprised, even not working, because I've also, you did not mention that
Yeah.
I've al-
Yeah. That's true.
I've
True
also
that.
had
True
the
that.
thing of just being a mom and not working.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I always say this, and a lot of moms agree with me. For some reason, that
Mm.
is at a stage.
That
That
is
is the
what
hardest,
stage
like just not working, like
is
having
the
just be.
hardest.
But for some reason, I tell you
How
this,
can
like,
it be hard to just be? Listen, sign me up to just be
like
sitting down at home.
had this it's so funny. I've had this, I guess maybe because also like that's like the early stages where you're still like you're still overwhelmed. And don't forget if anybody tells you, oh, being a mom is awesome. Being a mom is awesome, but you have some days that you're overwhelmed and stressed, especially in the
Yeah.
early stages. So I guess maybe also that was like in the early stages, whereas I'm like, okay, I'm learning. I don't know if, for instance, I don't know if friend can remember, like when I had my first kid, I
Yeah.
remember I one time was at the stage, I was like, oh my God, no one told me you have to be awake every 2 hours, because everyone, like if you
Oh my
talk to
gosh.
regular person comes to talk to me about motherhood, I won't remember to tell you, because the good things outweigh the bad, like not, I won't say bad, but outweigh the
Yeah.
stress, right? I
Yeah.
will tell you like, oh God, when your kid is teething, you're going to be awake all night. I won't remember to tell you,
Mm.
but I remember to tell you like, oh yeah, she started crying yesterday. That was awesome. So it
Oh.
tells you like no one really prepares you for that. I would say I never. There's some people that had the opportunity to like help raise their siblings, or So I never, went through that. Like I never, So my kids was, funny enough. Like my kids were, like my daughter was the first person I changed her diaper. That was the first diaper I changed.
Oh.
Like it was the first. She was the first of all. So she was everything, any mistake I made, she was like the first. I was so I
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, like, so I guess I also, like, I would say like that was also the time whereas you were learning, so it
Mm.
was like, having the balance of like, oh, the house has to be clean, or like, okay,
Mm.
like process, like having this process set down,
Yeah.
so yes, going back to your question, I would not know. I would not have. I don't have a specific answer, but
Mm.
but personally, I think I'm leaning towards honesty. They both have their pros and cons. Because working for yourself, you have your own time. Um,
Yeah.
to do you're more flexible. Like your kid has a show and tell that you have to be at. You're there. Your kids
Yeah.
have like. Say these days they have so many school programs, so you're
Mm.
like there's like working for someone. There's sometimes like when I want to tell my team lead, okay, my kid has a program. I'm like, oh God, I told him last week that my kid has a program. They have another program, and
Oh
so
my
when you have
gosh.
like I do, so
Yeah.
it's like you just told your team, like you'll probably think you're not taking it serious, like like is
Yeah.
that. Well, when you're working for yourself, you have nobody to say, okay, you just reschedule things around.
Yeah.
But but like, so I would say they both have the pros and cons. So I cannot pick.
Yeah.
I cannot
Okay, okay.
pick. Like, I really cannot pick. You just have to know what works for you at the time that it
Yeah.
works. You know. Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. So in line with all these processes and like having balance in your life, then come in fitness. So what exactly was it that made you choose to go on a fitness journey? Why did you choose a fitness journey? What sparked it? And why would you recommend it to other people? And then what is your best advice for people that are just starting out, like myself, in order for them to keep the momentum? Because as you may know, in the beginning of the COVID lockdown, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna start running again, blah blah blah. And
Mhm.
now my running again is based on running that I did for like just a few weeks because a friend of mine in Rome was always dragging me out to go. That's the
Yeah.
running I did before in 2017. But yeah, so I started doing this like at the beginning of the lockdown. But then of course, I just lost the ginger. I put my running clothes and my shoes just by the door here, so I would remember every morning to look at it and to inspire me. But it didn't move me. I was just like, I beg me, I'm tired. I beg me, I'm tired. So, what is it that you advise? First of all, why did you choose the journey? And then for people that actually want to keep fit, why why should we do it? Why is it healthy to have a fitness regime? And what is the best way to keep doing this? Yeah.
Okay, so I would say first of all, fitness journey. Um, the thing about it is you have to decide to do it for yourself. You cannot do it
Mm,
like, okay, I'm doing it for my husband, or I'm doing it for my
mm,
to get good as my friend, or to have a successful you can't do like, oh, my friends will be running together. Like, you have to
Even
physically
that running
make,
together, we're not really running together. We'll go to the park. She will do like five. What was it, miles or whatever? She will do like five. Me, I've
yeah,
only done like 0.5 or what. I'm still running. She's like, don't worry, no, you can do it. You can do it. Keep doing this. And
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
like, yeah, sure. See you later. But yeah, we're not really doing it together. She was doing it, and I was just there for decoration.
No, but technically you already did, so you cannot compare. You could actually have been losing more calories than her, that because
Mm,
you have to build your lungs and your heart to be able to withstand that, and it's not in a day. You cannot compare
mm,
doing it regularly. So
yeah,
you could have at that point be pushing more than she's pushing actually, but
yeah.
her muscles are already, it's like muscle memory, and it's already
Uh,
used, you know. But back to your question, like, I came from my family. My dad will work out every morning. I came from a
wow.
like work, but I wasn't. I didn't used to work out. Like, I didn't. I My university years, I did not used to work out. I didn't. I don't think I ever joined the gym like my whole university years. Like, I never
Yeah.
used to like. But but I was conscious of what I eat. I would do
So
like
if I
crazy diet.
understand, your family were working out every morning, but you weren't joining to work out.
Yeah, no, my dad. I came. My not my whole family, but like I would say my
Uh-huh.
dad was. So
Yeah.
I was exposed to that. I could
So you
have
were already
picked it.
inspired. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
wasn't inspired. That's what I'm saying. That I think fitness journeys, you have to decide, because I was exposed to it, but
Took it up.
I never picked it up. I never picked it up. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I never picked it up. You know, and like fitness is not just exercising. It's like the way you eat, your mindset, and everything. I never.
Mm.
I can't remember when I was in university ever like buying like I used to buy salad, but it wasn't like, you know, like, I wouldn't say I used to eat salad the way my kids eat salad now. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I never was like fitness like aware, but I was like, I
Yeah.
was aware of weight gains and weight loss. Like, maybe I had somewhere like an event I had to, like, I would like do a crazy diet to like lose this weight. Like, I was, but I never worked out. I would do that, you know. Sometimes I would go for, maybe I'll say, okay, I'm going to walk to school so
Yeah.
that I way, but I never like went to the gym, like, you know. But then I don't know if you remember, this happened to me. I had a thyroid problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I started getting fitness aware. I had a thyroid problem, and the day I decided to be aware of what I was going to eat health wise, this is even before I got into really exercising, like, right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware, if you're aware of thyroid problem, or if you're not aware, you can probably Google it. We cannot go into this. It's like a whole long thing, right? So you can
Mm.
have two types of, a short explanation. You can have two types of thyroid. They're equally bad. One
Yeah.
is where your thyroid makes you gain a lot of weight. One
Yeah.
is where your thyroid makes you lose a lot of weight. Like, you lose so much weight, people are like, oh, are you sick? Like, do you have cancer? Like, and then the other
Yeah.
extreme, right? Yeah. So mine was like the one you gain a lot of weight. And so I was
Mm.
so sad. I was so depressed with my weight. I was like, why am I gaining weight? I knew something was
Yeah.
wrong. I went to like different hospitals. I went through that phase. And then we finally found out that I had a thyroid problem. And
Yeah.
I remember the day my life changed was when I saw this particular doctor.
Mm.
And thyroid, another explanation of thyroid is like diabetes. If you do not do a drastic life change, you would have it for life. You know, if you
Wait,
don't,
so diabetes can be cured?
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
You have to. There's some diabetes actually. That's to my own knowledge. I'm not a doctor or anything, but there's some
Yeah.
that same thing as high cholesterol. Some people
Mm.
just say have high cholesterol and they just accept it for life. It can be
Yeah.
cured. It just you have to do a strict, drastic life change. I remember when I did this life change, my sisters, everyone was like laughing at me because I was so strict. I had like
Oh.
now I've like leaned back a bit because I don't have thyroid anymore, But
Yeah.
I said I had this conversation with the doctor. The doctor said to me, to be honest, you either decide at this point, are you going to have like a strict, drastic life change to cure this, or are you going to drink medication for the rest of your life? And that was
Mm.
the day that will I say I decided to change because deciding is different from actually changing.
Yeah.
Decided that okay, I need to do something about it, and I luckily I was able to meet like experts and everything, and I would not I don't know if you remember the stage I went through. Like I would not eat like I was eating like zero sugar, zero like
Oh.
I was eating like natural organic stuff because
Yeah.
that's what I found out that all those things add. Like before I would eat anything, I don't care if it's organic or but you find out that all those things
Yeah.
add. So whenever I can, I try like I make sure it's like either like it's like oh like it's the fresh. I right now I try that anything I'm buying, I'm like okay, this is the freshest I can get. Because
Yeah,
sometimes
I
the
do
freshest,
remember there was a period where you were mentioning a lot of stuff that I never heard of before, like food stuff. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, nice, nice.
yeah. I started eating a lot of like fresher foods and like
Yeah,
I mean, there's sometimes I still used to eat like canned stuff right now,
yeah,
but then like it was probably next to never. But now I've like leaned back. I'm not as strict, but I
yeah,
became very diet. And so when I cured my when I cured the thyroid whatever, at that point I was like, okay, do you know what? Okay, I was when I cured it, like I still have to go every 6 months to check if I because and it could be triggered again, right?
yeah.
So but right now I'm like thyroid free, right? And
Yay.
well, I've been thyroid free for years, but yeah, but you still have to check every now and then to make sure it's not triggered. But
Yeah,
when I was thyroid free, I was like, okay, do you know what? I gained so much weight, even fatter than I was when I was pregnant. I gained so much weight. I was like, okay, do you know what? I had no excuse to be fat again, quote
yeah,
unquote, right? I was already eating healthy, and I already lost some weight, to be fair, from eating
yeah,
whatever. And so I decided, okay, do you know what? I'm gonna lose this weight. And then I
yeah,
started. I would say, if you're fortunate enough to have like let's say cheerleader or like someone that can keep you accountable,
like a
at that point,
body, a workout body.
doesn't have to be a work. The person doesn't have to work out with you. At that point, it was
Mm,
my mom. My mom would not
yeah.
work out. She would say, she would say, "Go, girl, go," but she won't. When she's here, like we even lived in different countries, but like when she'll work out with you as much as she can. But
Yeah,
at that point, my workout person that was keeping me accountable was my mom. It's good to have
yeah,
that, but it's not opportunity to have that. But I had that, so my mom would message me. I started with as little as going for a walk. Like I was walking like 30 minutes, and I was so
wow,
sick then that 30 minutes was thinking about that. I'm talking to you, I'm like, wow, because now I walk 10 miles easy. But like I can
wow,
remember like 30 minutes is like less than a mile or a mile, and I would be like breathing so fast. It's like, oh, I started because oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this. So I first of all wanted to start with the extreme. Like I was gonna go do what's the name of that workout that was very popular then? Insanity. I crashed. I
ooh,
I
What do
did
you mean
it
you
for
wanted
like
to? I'm pretty sure you did because I definitely remember this
oh
name
yeah,
because
I
of
just said
you.
after a week I stopped because I wasn't
Uh,
fit enough. That's the thing. Because I wasn't
okay.
fit enough to even start with that extreme, like the name says, insanity. I wasn't fit enough to start with that extreme. So I started with like so I started with like walking. I started walking
Yeah.
and I grew myself. And then I was fortunate enough to be exposed to Les Mill is a
Uh,
program. I swear, I say because you remember there's none of my friends that know me. I don't know Les Mill. I swear
As
by Les
in,
Mill.
you even added me to one WhatsApp group last time you were in night. Oh my
Yeah,
God, let me just add that a friend invited me to basically when she was in night, she wanted to go to the gym together. Okay, we now went to the gym now. She now said, oh yeah, just you can do it. Because she's been talking about this less meal, less meal, less meal, less meal. I'm like, oh, cool. She's like, yeah, you can just do this one thing. She just do like 10 of it. So she basically showed me it looked easy when she was doing it. That's how me I now went on I don't know what they call those benches in the gym. It's just whoa, before I got to 5. And then also the gym instructor happened to be there as well. And it was just like for them, it just seemed so like at ease. Right. And of course they were not like judging me or anything, but it was just like this look of
mhm.
oh, this thing is easy, Sha, for them. Right. So by the time I got to 5, and then of course a friend was really pumped. She was like, no, you can do it. Keep going, keep going. And in my body, I was like, I don't know if I can make it to 10. So that's how eventually Sha, I now did. And she was taking my video. So I was like doing it for the gram, right? I was like, I have to get to my 10. I have to get to my 10. And then so eventually after that, she now went. She said, okay, she's just gonna do a real quick one. This girl did like I don't know how many, like definitely at least minimum of double of 10. Very easily. She stood up and I was like, all right. So I see that this gym life is definitely not for me. Okay,
No,
now that
no,
that's out there.
no, you grow into it. Like when I started
Yeah,
Les Mill, I remember the first Les Mill class I did because before I joined the tribe,
yeah,
that's how I like quote unquote like are you the tribe kind of.
yeah,
Before I joined the tribe, I was on a line on my own. When I walked into the first Les Mill class, I was like,
yeah.
and this is joking. I remember even the first time my husband walked into the class, he was like, because they're mostly females, but males. My husband was like, he first class he did was a body pump class, which was weight, and
Yeah,
my husband was to do the weight I was doing because obviously I'm smaller than him, right? And I
yeah.
was like, look, that's exactly the mistake Shiny guys make when they do more pump. They're like, oh yeah, this tiny girl can like lift like 20 on each side, we're lifting like 40 on each side. I can do no, I was telling him I was putting 2.5 for him. He was like, no, how can I even do 2.5 when I'm doing 2.5? Like, no. I'm like, like repetition. So your muscle has to get used to the
Yeah,
repetition. You cannot start and like that's my point. So you cannot start and measure yourself with someone that does it like every time. Like right, our muscle,
yeah.
we already have built that muscle memory. Like I said again, we already built that.
Mm,
Our bonds are already opened and adapted to that, like cardio
yeah.
push.
The only thing
Like
I enjoyed about that gym, they had like this sauna thing. That was my amazing part of that one.
I
So I was
love
like,
saunas.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it helps prepare your muscles. I love saunas when I
Yeah.
can after workout. But yeah, I was able to back to the question. I was able to
Mm-hmm.
like I started with this with less meals. I had like
Mm.
I then little by little I grew I had a gym family. I don't know you heard my
Mm.
sleeping a gym family. I had a gym family. So my push grew. It wasn't just my mom now, it was also my friends were like, oh, they were like, oh, we're gonna do body attack today. We're
Yeah.
gonna do day. And I'm like, oh God, I went to the farm with my kids and we walked around. I don't feel like doing legs. And then it's good to have that friend of like, no, that's an excuse. You're gonna do legs today with me.
Yeah.
So I had that push and then I started loving it. Like after I work out, I would have just so much energy. I would be so happy. I think it's also a clinical fact that people say you are happier when you work out.
Mm. That's
I don't know.
true though. When I run, I feel a little bit happier. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about going so into that because I don't really know anything about science. But my personal, I started being more happy. You could annoy me when I come out from the gym, and I'll still be smiling like that. And so I had this family of like gym friends. We would work out
Yeah.
together. We would set goals. And bear in mind, I was not okay. So when I say I was not close to the goal. So we had different people with different goals and different levels. Like even
Yeah.
to now, I work out with. Like, I remember my sister coming to work out with me and she was, oh my God, your friends are crazy. Like, I have like this less meal. I'm like in the less meal tribe, but I have also friends that are less meal trainers that I work out with.
Um,
I am not at their level at all, but I'm
yeah.
growing every day. The point is growing. I'm not trying
Mm,
to that level, not like trying to do what the person at that level is, but trying to push yourself with what this person is doing, right? And
yeah.
so our saying, we always say in the gym is, I think I said this to you when we worked out together, is the saying
Mm.
we always say is, did you die though? Like after you work, like at the end, you realize I did not die. Like you pushed yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can. We always say this thing: you can do anything in 1 hour. Just
Yeah.
mindset, like okay, just 1 hour, give it 100%. Like at the end of 1 hour, you did not die. Like
Hmm.
you
Hey God.
you you find out that you had that little one more minute in you, like little one more push.
Yeah.
We saying that it's also good to know your body. Don't, like I said, like don't be like my husband and go and do like on the first day he left his lesson. Now he doesn't do that when he joins class. I remember like throughout that time, he would tell
Yeah.
his friend, "Oh God, like my wife, my whole back is paining me." I'm like, I told you, don't say your wife. I told you, you know. So
Yeah.
it's also pushing yourself, but also knowing your limit. I always say you want to make sure you come back the next day. You don't want to tear out your muscles. You want to make
Yeah.
sure next day your muscles will hurt, but you want to make sure you still work out through that hurt. So you don't want to over push it, you know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that's how I started, um, that's how I started the whole journey, you know, and it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
We love it, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so now guys, we're gonna breeze through some questions and then we'll go to the in-depth stuff about the fitness. But in summary, from what we just said, definitely her journey was sparked by health concerns, if you like, and then her fitness journey rather, and then les is it les meals or les meals?
Last
Um,
minute. Well,
yeah.
to be honest, I guess because you have your, will I say, Francois, your
Ouais,
French.
ouais, 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 c'est vrai, c'est vrai,
So I
ouais.
guess it's French from. But I guess it's the country because you just pronounce it like you know, with the, you know, French or
Accent,
Spanish.
ouais.
But, but yeah, I guess it's the country you're coming from. But I don't know. I call it left meal.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so which is gonna be put on the Instagram and the YouTube description anyway, so you guys can have like a direct link of how to access it. So a friend is gonna give me the information. But yeah, so the main advice is that you could start with this and know your body. If I understood what you said properly, it's so know your body and then go at your own pace. Don't try to go at the pace of other people, right? And this is a good way for you to keep up the momentum if you're just like a new starter and stuff. And
yeah,
obviously do it for yourself, not for somebody else. Um,
and let
yeah.
the other motivate you, but just don't
Let
like
what
think you.
motivate you?
I said let them, like, let the other people motivate you. Like, don't go at their pace, but let them motivate
Yeah.
you. And remember that they've been doing it for weeks and years or months, and you
Yeah.
just started. You always have to remember that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes,
Nice. Okay, so what advice would you give our mommy and daddy listeners? Just in
well,
general, really, based on everything that we've talked about, you can pull out from the fitness advice, from managing like kids and your work life. What is like a one sentence advice that you can just give them
I
based on
would
what we've
say
said so far?
the, the two things I would say is
Yeah.
balance.
Mm-hmm.
Under balance, you have managing time, whatever, like balance. And then the
Mm.
second thing is it's okay not to be perfect. Like that's probably the best advice someone has given me
Yeah.
in you know in my life of being a mother. Like us mothers,
Uh-huh.
especially these days, we try to be perfect. I remember when I
Yeah.
started when I started pureeing, I was like, okay, I need to puree this vegetable that is like this with this,
Mm.
like it's okay it's okay to make mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. The problem is if you don't learn from your mistakes, right? It's okay to like
Yeah.
it's okay to be, it's okay to, but it's okay to make mistakes and learn. Like no one is perfect. No,
Yeah.
the YouTube videos you see of people. I post YouTube videos with my kids, but babe, I won't post like the mistakes we we do.
That
Man,
is
I
so
know
true.
we make a lot of like we do a lot of DIYs, and
Yeah.
sometimes I post like the flops. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we make some things, we go and we learn some DIY. Me and my kids were really into DIYs, and
Yeah.
so we have like flops, and sometimes we have like good. So I post mostly, the fact people know is like I post mostly the ones that came out right, right.
Yeah. Oh
So
my gosh.
that's how his life is as well. All these influencers and all this, they wouldn't post like, okay, oh, I went for this photo shoot and this picture was like wrong. I will pick my very best. So
Yeah.
that's how life. Look at those, look at them. I would say look at it to like get yourself inspired, but don't
Yeah.
try to be like always perfect. You need
Mhm.
to sit
Mhm.
down. You need to enjoy the moment you are in.
Yeah.
You need to I guess that's the advice I would enjoy the moment and have a balance, and
Yeah.
you're not perfect. I
Yeah.
think the only person, I'm very religious, so the only person I know is perfect is like God and Jesus.
Yeah.
No human is perfect, and that's the thing. You learn your imperfection and like it and improve on it if you can, or whatever, like you know yeah.
Mm.
So I guess that's
Okay,
the
that's
two
perfect. And
things.
that actually led on to the next question, which is going to be the best advice on motherhood you received, which you already just said. So we'll move on to the other question, which is what's the best advice on career/business you've ever received?
Well, I guess the best advice career wise, I would say being a mom
Yeah.
is. I remember when I at the stage when I wasn't working, I was like, okay, I graduated with all these people and they're like doing so well. Like,
Mm.
okay, you need to like get there. I started beating myself down and forgetting my achievements and forgetting
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever achievement it may be, right? And so I was finding myself, I was getting a little bit depressed. I'm like, okay, I need to get there, like,
Oh.
you know. But I would like to say I grew past that, and
Yeah.
I decided like I set goals. But these days life is changing, environment is changing, things are happening. It's very hard to have like a goal and it goes well, like it goes as planned.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I always say
Everyone's
this joke of
changing.
how like adulthood is a scam, but this thing you just said, like there are just so many things that I think people make as life plans or goals. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes life just shows you very differently. Like it's just totally different. Like that saying of man proposes and God disposes is so true. Like
Yeah.
you make plans and then life happens and you're like, wow. I mean, you're not in a bad place, you're in a good place, but it's a different place from where you ever saw yourself like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, right? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Like it's so funny because actually like comparing to if I'm going to compare it to like the olden days, like or even
Mm,
our parents, things economy was stable. Like it was pretty much
mm.
you're in. You're when you retire, you're out. But these days, you
Yeah.
minutes, the next minute you're out. Like it wasn't like not unstable like it is right now to be if you look
Yeah.
back. If you look back at it. So like I set goals. I set goals and try and get better. But sometimes I find myself like I sometimes I'm like, okay, things are going well, and then it just all of a sudden stops. But I guess the thing about it is like don't stick there, stay where it stopped, where you go down,
Mm.
be depressed and like, okay, if you want to be depressed, be depressed for a day. And then like the next day you wake up and you say, okay, what am I going to do to get myself back up? You may
Yeah.
not get back up immediately. You may not, but you may plan to get back up and you may not get back up. Don't get it wrong. Like you may plan. Not everybody, you know, you may plan to get back up and you may not actually get back up. But you planning to do something is good. Like you cannot just
Yeah.
like okay in the misery or okay, but you planning and then it may happen 2 years later, 10 years later, one
Mm.
week later, 2 days later, like but just planning to put your best effort. But I always tell my kids, always put your best foot. Your best foot may not be up to the standard right now, but keep pushing it and keep putting your best foot
Yeah.
forward to do. And then one day, hopefully, the reward will like yield from it, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. Like, so try to do your best at at every point in time. You can be depressed. Maybe like I said, it keeps going down. For me personally, I dealt with that as well. Whereas things are going so smoothly and so good, and then not some all of a sudden there's like a big, huge, like drop or something career
Yeah.
wise.